It's 10 trivia questions on 90s fashion. Get ready to bust out those Jankos. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be, and welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds, a podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds, and happy Halloween from the Buds house. That's right, it's still July, but my wife Ashley is already decorating for Halloween. She likes to celebrate it as a quarter of the year, so pretty much August through, I'm going to say December. It's very Halloween-y around our house, and she's already been hiding this golden full-size skeleton everywhere to try and scare me. I go in the bathroom, it's there waiting behind the door when I close it. I go to bed, it's laying in the sheets next to me. The possibilities are endless with the spooky mind of Ashley Starling Buds. So just wanted to share all the Halloween frights going on in my house. And I wanted to give a big shout out to some new Patreon supporters. We have 3 brand new ones. Laura Palmer, Andrea Foltz, and Mark Zorate. Thank you so much for your amazing contributions to the monthly Patreon community. And if you want to be like Mark, Laura, and Andrea, go to patreon.com/trivia with buds and donate and see all the cool things you can get from $1 to $50 for all the different levels and tiers. The $50 level, of course, gets you all of the trivia I use at every trivia night and special event I do on the monthly. So if you are a host looking for some content, that's a great way to get started. And I'll give you everything you need in the form of PowerPoints and answer keys and stuff like that. So check it out, patreon.com/trivia with buds, or if you just have $1 a month, that is very helpful as well. We're going to jump into today's episode after these Geek Out challenges. Name 2 films that take place in a haunted house. Name 2 musical guests that have appeared on The Simpsons. Name 4 characters from Winnie the Pooh. Name 6 songs with a female name in the title. And name 4 people who have hosted the Academy Awards. I really like that musical guests in The Simpsons category. I might turn that into a whole episode of the podcast or a PowerPoint to do at live nights. Also, I like the 6 songs with female names in the title. I think that could be a fun one too. There's quite a bit of them. Roxanne, there's one. Okay, we're going to jump into 90s fashion. This is a great flashback round. If you grew up in the 80s or 90s and you wore a lot of weird stuff, this episode's for you. Here we go. All right, it's 90s fashion. Let's see what you know about trends of yesteryear. Number 1, what U.S. city was the epicenter of the grunge-inspired flannel boom of the early 90s? Number 1, what U.S. city was the epicenter of the grunge-inspired flannel boom of the early 90s? Number 2, what celebrity of these 1990s years generated a hairstyle known as the Rachel? What celebrity of the 90s generated a hairstyle known as the Rachel? Number 3, what mail order catalog was women's go-to source for 1990s fashion staples like mini skirts, baby doll dresses, and butterfly hair clips? Was it Sassy, East Bay, or Delia's? Sassy, East Bay, or Delia's? Where would you find those items? Number 3. Number 4, what hip-hop group of the 90s wore their clothes backwards and had a hit song called Jump? Question number 5, what future Hollywood superstar appeared alongside model Kate Moss in early 90s Calvin Klein ads before launching a successful acting career? What future Hollywood superstar appeared alongside Kate Moss in the early 90s for Calvin Klein before launching a successful acting career? Number 6, what 1990s urban clothing brand counted South Korean technology giant Samsung as an original investor? What 1990s urban clothing brand counted South Korean technology giant Samsung as an original investor? Number 7, what company produced the chunky, oversized G-Shock watches adorning wrists in the late 90s? G-Shock watches, what company? Number 8, what is the model number of the original Doc Martens boots so prevalent in the 90s? Was it 101, 1460, or 2976? 101, 1460, or 2976 for Doc Martens. Number 9, what four-letter jeans brand was known for having the widest legs? Number 10, what type of suits were the members of Run DMC known to wear most in the 90s? And number 11, your bonus question for 2 points. What company made the famous pump sneakers? Pump sneakers. Those are all of your questions for 90s fashion. We'll be right back to tie that flannel around your waist with the answers after this. We are back with the answers to 90s fashion. Thanks for playing along today. Number 1, what U.S. city was the epicenter of the grunge-inspired flannel boom of the early 90s? Seattle, Washington. Seattle, Washington. Very popular for flannels and Frasier, the two Fs of the 90s. Number 2, what celeb of these 90s generated a hairstyle known as the Rachel? That was Jennifer Aniston from Friends, the Rachel Green, Jennifer Aniston. Number 3, what mail order catalog was women's go-to source for miniskirts, baby doll dresses, and butterfly hair clips? Delia's was the answer there, Delia's. Number 4, what hip-hop group wore backwards clothes and had the hit song Jump? Criss Cross will make ya jump, jump. Number 5, what future Hollywood superstar appeared alongside Kate Moss? Mark Wahlberg in the Calvin Klein ads of the early 90s, Mark Wahlberg. Number 6, in the 90s, urban clothing brand FUBU counted South Korean technology giant Samsung as an original investor. FUBU. Number 7, what company produced the chunky, oversized G-Shock watches? Casio. Casio, cool. I remember that was a commercial on Nickelodeon. Number 8, what is the model number of Doc Martens boots so prevalent in the 90s? It was the second choice, 1460, 1460. And number 9, the four-letter jean brand. I yelled it in the intro. Janko. J-N-C-O, Janko. Some of those pant legs were wider than me. And number 10, what type of suits did Run DMC wear? Tracksuits. They wore tracksuits, and then they transferred that style to mobsters in the later 90s. In the bonus for 2 points, what company made the famous pump sneakers? Reebok was your answer there. Reebok pumps. My brother had a pair. He also had strength shoes. I made fun of him a lot, but he could dunk. He could dunk, and I can't. So he's got that over me. And there's your 90s fashion for today. Thanks for listening and playing along. And fact of the day for today, no word in the English language rhymes with month. The word month has no real rhyme. If you didn't know that, now you know. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend. Thank you, Laura, Mark, and Andrea for supporting the podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/trivia with buds. And we'll see you next time for more trivia with me. Cheers.